Hey, Mama. What are you doing here so early?
Vine a chequearte. I'm glad Dr. Russell postponed the procedure until today. Hopefully you've had time to think, reconsider your
I
decision.
don't want to argue, Mama.
Teresa, I was up all night praying, hoping that you'd see the light. Remember what the church teaches us? Life is sacred.
We went through this.
The idea that you would choose your child over Ethan and Gwen's, it's just horrible beyond belief. You don't even know if one of these babies is your child with Ethan.
I don't, Mama. You're right.
So you'll abandon this unspeakable notion of playing God with the two lives inside you.
Mama, if I don't sacrifice one of these babies, they both die.
It's God's choice, Teresa, not yours.
No, see, God has given medical science a way to save one of my children.
Mira, Teresa. Even if our Holy Mother appeared and said that she would make an exception this one time, she would never, ever condone your scheming to choose your baby with Ethan instead of his with Gwen's. Jamás, Teresa.
Mama, I don't want to lose either one of these babies, but if I don't act to save one of them, they both will die. And after everything Gwen and Rebecca have done to us, they took my child away from me, Mama. They took our jobs, they took our home. I am not about to lose another child to Gwen.
Que Dios nos ayude.
Mama, I'm gonna have Dr. Russell run these DNA tests. I'm gonna find out which baby is mine with Ethan, and that's the one I'm going to keep.
Honey, thank you so much for convincing Teresa to have this procedure.
I'm glad she decided to go through with it.
I mean, it's horrible it had to come to this. You know, but if Teresa hadn't agreed to the procedure, then both of our babies would have died. And what did you say to her to change her mind?
Sheridan is so disappointed in me. I promised to tell her about her mother, and then I broke my promise when Alistair reminded us of the consequences. Julian and Sheridan would hate me for abandoning them as children and for deceiving them as adults.
Luis and the rest of my family would hate me too. And Alistair wouldn't let it end there. He'd make our life hell for the embarrassment your being alive would cause him.
Yeah, and people would think that I had left him to be with you, not that we left town to save our lives, convinced that our children would escape his wrath.
You know what? I've been up all night thinking about this, and I realize there's only one thing for us to do. Catherine.
What?
We have to leave Harmony. Leave our loved ones for good, their own good. Or Alistair will destroy them all.
Luis! Luis!
Sure. Nice. Right here.
Oh, thank God. When you weren't beside me, I thought...
Thought what, Alistair was up to his old tricks again?
Yeah.
Fella's always up to something. After what we saw at the Wheelers last night, I see he's not the only one.
Yeah, Mrs. Wheeler was gonna tell me about my mother, but then wouldn't.
Yep, same thing with Mr. Wheeler about my father. They're keeping secrets from us.
Hey. What is that? What are you doing?
Just making a chart of everything we know about the Wheelers. I'll figure out who they really are. What their connection is to us, to Alistair, to Harmony, your mother, my father. Everything. If it's the last thing I do.
I would hold the hand of the one who could lead me places and kiss the lips of the one who could sing so sweet. And I would fly on the wings of a bird I knew could take me high as breathe in, breathe out. You keep me alive. You are the fire burning in the
Honey, what did you say to Teresa to convince her to sacrifice one baby to save the other?
Go on, Ethan. Tell me that you would sacrifice our baby for yours and Gwen's. Tell me that you don't love me. Tell me that you don't love our baby. Tell me that you don't want to be with me. Tell me that you don't have the same passion for Gwen as you do me.
Can't. I can't. Yes, I would be with you now if I hadn't gotten Gwen pregnant and we'd be married and happy. If I wasn't married to her. I don't know. I don't know my exact words I said to her, but the important thing is she agreed to have the procedure, and we might finally have a child of our own, hopefully, right?
I mean, I hate it that we definitely can't have both babies, but now we have the possibility to have one. And for that, I'm very grateful.
That's right. Me too.
Well, I'm just glad the situation has been settled to, or as near to everyone's satisfaction as is possible. I'm gonna go check on Teresa, see if she has any last-minute questions, so we can start the procedure as soon as possible.
Okay.
Thanks.
If I were you, I wouldn't count on getting anything but grief from Teresa.
Que Dios te ayude, Teresa. You are no different than Alistair Crane. Choosing to take someone's life because they interfere with your plans.
Mama, I am nothing like Alistair Crane. You know that. I don't want to lose either one of these babies, but if I don't act to save one of them, they both will die. And I will be damned if I let Gwen become a mother after everything she and her mother have done to our family.
But for you to sacrifice another woman's child in hopes of getting her husband to come back to you, Teresa, how many of God's commandments are you breaking in yet another futile attempt to be with Ethan?
Mama, he says that he still loves me.
How? How could he love the monster that you've become? This is madness, Teresa. This is hideous, horrible madness.
Mama, I don't want to hurt anyone. Especially a baby. But I have to save my baby with Ethan. And if Gwen were in my position, you know she would do the same thing.
Really? Well, let's ask her,
No,
Teresa.
Mama, please, calm down.
Teresa? Laura? Is everything okay?
Dr. Russell, everything is fine.
Well, Teresa, there's some things we need to go over before you have the procedure.
Dios mío.
Laura, I know this was a very difficult choice for Teresa, and I know it is not what you would have wanted, but it is Teresa's choice. So you're still planning to have the procedure, correct?
Yes, Dr. Russell.
Okay, well, I need you to fill out some forms for Dr. Ames, who will be actually performing the procedure.
Dr. Russell, before we go any further, I need you to run a DNA test.
A DNA test? Why?
Because I need to know which one of these babies is mine.
Leave Harmony forever?
The sooner the better.
Oh, Martin, I don't know if I could do that. To never see Julian and Sheridan again. I abandoned my children once already.
To protect them from Alistair.
But that's not what happened. He took all his rage at me out on them. Oh, Martin, if you could have seen Sheridan's face, the hope, the happiness when I was telling her stories about her mother when she was a little girl. How she suffered at Alistair's hands, how he forced her to abandon her children. I don't know, I just have to believe that Sheridan would understand and that she would forgive me.
I wonder.
Well, even if she didn't, if I told her the truth, maybe it would help this awful guilt she bears because Alistair told her that she was responsible for my death. It might help her heal and get free of all of Alistair's lies.
But telling Sheridan the truth might make her hate you for leaving her, letting her think that you were dead. My God, Alistair could end up looking like a victim in all this.
I never considered that.
I'm in the same boat with my family. I mean, would they really accept that I left them in poverty to save the life of one of the world's wealthiest women? Think of the spin that Alistair would put on that. He'd claim that we were lovers in the beginning and that we abandoned our families to live the good life in Mexico.
He'd say anything to save face.
And to take away any hope of our loved ones ever forgiving us. Damn Alistair, putting us in this position, forcing us to leave Harmony and our families a second time.
You really think that you can figure out who the Wheelers really are?
Well, the clues are all there. Just have to connect them. Oh, look what I got so far. All right, both Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler used to live in Harmony. Mr. Wheeler worked for Alistair, and she knew him socially.
And Mr. Wheeler told you that there were clues about your father's disappearance at the gazebo.
That's right. And Alistair coincidentally had the gazebo bulldozed before I could investigate.
Right, and then last night, Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler said they were going to tell us something really important about my mother and your father until we ran into my father and they clammed up.
Yeah, well, on top of that, Mrs. Wheeler tried to kill Alistair. Twice.
She said she was trying to protect me.
Yeah. Why? Okay, I mean, no offense, but you've only known Mrs. Wheeler since the summer.
Yeah, but I feel like I've known her my entire life.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I feel the exact same connection with Mr. Wheeler, and Mama and Julian said they felt the same connection. Right? What are the odds that Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler come from the same town and are staying at the same inn as Paloma?
1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah, only I don't think it's a coincidence. I think who they are is tied to where they come from.
Yeah. The Wheelers were about to tell us something. Something big. We've got to find out what it is.
You're right. And that's why I think it's time for me to take my investigation to the next level.
How?
Took these glasses from the Wheeler's room. I'm gonna have a friend down at headquarters lift the fingerprints, run them through an FBI database. Then we'll know who the Wheelers really are.
Becca, please, don't start, all right? The situation is difficult enough without you making Gwen suspicious of Teresa, okay?
Look, I'm just reminding you both that Teresa is a liar, a cheat, and a shameless opportunist who never does anything unless it's in her own best interest.
Mother, normally I would agree with you. But Teresa went against her religious beliefs to agree to sacrifice one baby to save the other.
But why? What made her decide to do that?
Not what, Mother? Who?
Don't confuse me with grammar.
Mother, it was Ethan. He convinced Teresa to have the procedure.
Oh. It was Ethan. Whatever did you promise her to make her do what you wanted?
I didn't promise her anything, Rebecca.
Oh, Ethan. Come on. You must have offered her some kind of bone.
Okay, let it go, all right? She agreed to have the procedure. Period.
He's right, okay? For once, Teresa's actually doing something to help us. And Ethan and I are gonna have our own biological child.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
What's that supposed to mean?
Look, when you're dealing with Teresa, there is always some kind of catch. You just don't know what it is yet. But I promise you, there is one. And if the two of you are not preparing for the worst, then you are just asking for trouble.
Teresa, what do you mean you want to know which one of the two babies is yours?
Just that.
I need to know which one of these babies I'm carrying is mine.
Teresa, neither one of these babies is yours. These are Gwen and Ethan's babies. Remember, you tricked the staff into impregnating you with Gwen's fertilized embryo.
If only it were that simple.
Oh, God. What is it, Teresa? What have you done this time?
Catherine, if you killed Alistair, we wouldn't be free. You'd still be in jail awaiting trial for murder. And honey, I don't want to lose you that way.
Yes, but if I'd killed Alistair, he would no longer be a menace to our children.
That's why we have to leave Harmony, so Alistair will leave our children alone.
But he didn't last time.
This time's different. Our being here threatens Alistair. If our true identities come out, the world will know why we left, that Alistair abused you, that he tried to kill me for protecting you. The scandal would send Crane Industries stock into a nosedive and weaken Alistair's power. But most of all, he'd be humiliated for people to know that the almighty Alistair Crane lost his wife to one of them. Me. Leaving Harmony lets Alistair save face, and that's more important to him than hurting our children.
Where would we go? You know he'll follow us. There's no place he wouldn't find us.
I know, but that's the risky part. We'll have to stay on the move and keep one step ahead, that's all.
That's horrible. We'll be people without a country, without a home.
I know. But it's the only way. If we stay here, we're sitting ducks for Alistair.
Don't people have to be criminals for the FBI to have their fingerprints on file?
Not necessarily. A lot of times people are fingerprinted for their jobs or identity protection, security reasons, things like that.
So there's a chance that Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler's fingerprints could be on file.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a real good chance. In fact, with any luck, we should know who the Wheelers really are before sunset.
Luis, wait. I mean, what if there's a reason why the Wheelers are hiding their true identity? I mean, what if finding out the truth hurts both them and us?
No, I don't think anything bad comes from the truth. It's the secrets that hurt.
I hope you're right.
Trust me. Now look, why don't you go get showered and dressed while I call my buddy down at the station.
Okay.
Harmony PD, Officer Kirkman speaking.
Kirkman, hey, it's me, Luis. Hey, listen, I need a favor.
Anything for you, pal?
Great. Look, I've got a couple of drinking glasses with 2 sets of prints, which I need lifted and then run through the FBI database. Think you can handle that?
Yeah, sure. Luis, what's this about?
It's about finding out who the Wheelers really are.
Okay, well, I'll be here ready to go.
All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks. Wheelers. Oh. Let's just hope we're all still smiling when we find out who you really are. And what your connection is to me and Sheridan.
You are my passion for life.
There's no chance to fix this, is there? We damn our loved ones if we stay in Harmony, and we damn any chance of reuniting with them if we leave.
We were naive to think we could make things right after all these years.
And well, my family thinks that I walked out the door and I never looked back. And Julian and Sheridan think you're dead.
I remember seeing my final resting place for the first time, the Crane Mausoleum, talking with Sheridan, and seeing her pain, thinking that her birth had led eventually to my death.
Alistair's cruelest lie of all.
Yeah. Maybe it would be better for Sheridan if I were dead.
How's it going, Kirkman?
Good, good, pal. How you
Thanks. Good, thanks. Thanks again for helping us.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So, those are the glasses with the prints.
Right, I'll have the lab lift the prints, scan them into the computer. Then you can watch the search for a match with the FBI database on that computer.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks. Coffee?
No, I'm far too nervous right now. I mean, what if what we find out about the Wheelers is some horrible secret? I mean, what if they're using an alias to hide some secret? What if finding the truth either hurts them or us?
Sure. Like I said, truth doesn't hurt people, okay? Secrets do. And besides that, the Wheelers seem like nice people, okay? I doubt they're hiding anything horrible.
Yeah, they seem very nice.
Not to mention, they've done a lot for us ever since we met them.
I owe Mr. Wheeler my life. If he hadn't gotten that antidote from Mrs. Wheeler, I mean, when we were bitten by those snakes, I'd be dead.
Well, you know, not to mention, they've been like godparents to Paloma ever since she was young. Bad people don't do that stuff.
No. No, they don't.
So, worst case scenario, they're good people caught up in a bad situation, okay? And we'll know what's what as soon as we get the fingerprints.
The lab lifted the prints. They entered them into the database.
Search is on.
Rebecca, look, just ease up a little bit on Teresa, okay? I mean, you have blamed her for everything, short of global warming.
All I'm saying is that Teresa never does anything out of the goodness of her heart.
Well, it takes one to know one, doesn't it?
Please, would you guys just stop sniping at each other? She's making a huge sacrifice so we can have a child of our own.
No, she's not, Gwen. No, I suspect that she is giving up one baby so that another one survives because she needs a child to trade for little Ethan. Now, she's not making a sacrifice for you. No, she is being self-serving as usual.
No, Teresa's not the one being selfish. I'm the one. I'm forcing her to do this. What kind of person am I?
Oh, God, Teresa, what have you done? You may want to sit down, Eve.
Oh, God. Just, Dr. Russell. After I was implanted with Ethan and Gwen's embryos, and after I took a pregnancy test that showed that I was pregnant, I thought that I miscarried. But now that I look back, I don't know if maybe I was spotting.
Well, of course that had to be the case. How could you find yourself pregnant with 2 babies right now?
See, after I lost Ethan and Gwen's baby, I realized that I needed to get pregnant right away because I needed to have a baby to trade for little Ethan. And since Gwen doesn't trust me...
With good reason.
I needed to have a baby with Ethan's DNA, and the only way that I could get Ethan's DNA was to sleep with him.
Oh, Teresa, you didn't. Oh, but she did.
Dr. Russell, I don't know which babies I'm carrying. I don't know if they're both Ethan and Gwen's. I don't know if one of them is Ethan and Gwen's and the other is mine and Ethan's.
Oh, my God. Gwen is gonna go crazy when I tell her this.
No, Dr. Russell, you can't!
Happy now?
Love hurts. Especially when the cuffs are too tight.
What if I am forcing Teresa to sacrifice one of these babies to save the other just so she can get her son back? As far as Teresa's concerned, she's risking eternal damnation just to get her son back?
Works for me.
All right, Rebecca, enough. We understand that you don't trust Teresa's motives for anything, okay?
Yeah, and neither should you. Look, she's just doing this to get her son back. Although I am convinced that she has her eyes on a much bigger prize.
Dr. Russell, please stop, please. Look, you can't tell Gwen. You're a doctor. You took an oath that whatever a patient tells you, you have to keep it private.
Okay, you're right, Teresa. I am bound by doctor-patient privilege, but
Please, Dr. Russell, about these babies.
yes, about these babies, Teresa. Now, you say one of them could be yours with Ethan because he slept with you?
That's correct.
So Ethan cheated on Gwen? How could he do such a thing?
Ethan didn't set out to betray Gwen, Eve. My darling daughter drugged him. She wore a blonde wig and Gwen's special perfume and tricked Ethan into making love to her.
Oh, Teresa, tell me you didn't.
Dr. Russell, Gwen and Rebecca took little Ethan away from me. I needed to get pregnant again so I could have a baby to trade for my son. Only now I don't know whose babies I'm carrying. They both could be Ethan and Gwen's, or one of them could be Ethan and Gwen's, and the other could be mine with Ethan. So I need you to do this DNA test. I need to know if one of these babies is mine.
Why?
Because if one of these babies is mine, and the other one isn't, when I have the procedure done, I need you to make sure that you save my baby with Ethan.
Catherine, you can't think that your being dead is what's best for Sheridan, or Julian, or anyone else, especially me. I love you. And without them realizing that you're their mother, Julian and Sheridan love you too.
I know they have feelings for me, very strong feelings. And I feel about them more than I've ever felt in my whole life. But the truth of who I really am is keeping us apart. It's driving a wedge between us.
I understand your frustration, because I'm in the same boat. I almost wish that they'd figure out who I really am so I wouldn't have to keep it a secret any longer.
I wish the same thing.
Well, maybe our wish will come true. Maybe Luis will discover our true identities.
I can't watch this anymore. I mean, the tension of waiting to find out who the Wheelers really are is killing me.
Oh, Sheridan, waiting is always the hard part.
Yeah, waiting, wondering.
All right, I know something you can do if you want to help me, okay?
Of course I want to help. What can I do?
All right, look,
I'll keep an eye on the search, Luis.
thanks. Thought if we don't come up with a match on the Wheeler's prints, there's a program here that can help us. What it does is it reveals if a person has disguised themselves, and if so, who they really are.
How does it work?
Well, it looks at similarities between bone structure and height and weight, and compares them to photographs, archives, old and new.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I've actually seen it look at pictures of two people who are completely different, only to find out that they were actually the same person. FBI uses this all the time.
What do I do to get it started?
All right, look here, just go online to Harmony Herald. See if you can find a picture of Mrs. Wheeler. I think I remember seeing one when she was arrested for shooting Alistair.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. That's why I love you. You're amazing.
I don't believe this.
What, you got a match on the Wheeler's fingerprints?
Come see for yourselves.
Oh my God.
Well, I'll be damned.
Rebecca, stop, okay? Questioning Teresa's motives is obviously upsetting your daughter, all right?
Yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you would just stop. Look, it's not a secret that Teresa wants little Ethan back and that we have agreed to return him when she gives us our babies. But this was before Eve told us about the situation. You know, and Teresa would have agreed to the procedure right off the bat if all she wanted was to get little Ethan back. But that's not what happened. I mean, Teresa agonized over this, and I don't blame her. Mother, she's been carrying these babies inside of her for months, and I am sure she's bonded with them on some level. Even so, I mean, Teresa decided to do what she needed to do to give us a child, and I'm grateful to her for that.
Gullible is more like it. Look, Teresa can never be trusted about anything, period.
I wish you would just stop, and please let me focus on this child we're gonna have rather than focusing on some alleged something that Teresa's up to.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I wonder if Eva's finished prepping Teresa, because I'd like to talk to her and thank her before.
Okay, yeah. Let's go.
And I wish you would just let me be happy, okay? Ethan and I are gonna have our own child, and it's a child that Teresa is giving us.
My poor Gwenny. I tried to warn her, but she just wouldn't listen. And now when Teresa pulls off whatever it is she's plotting, my poor baby is gonna be that much more hurt.
Okay, Teresa. I don't really believe what I'm hearing. So what you're saying is that you're willing to have this procedure to save one of the babies. But if one of the babies is yours and Ethan's, you want to sacrifice Gwen's to save yours.
That's correct.
My God, Teresa, how cold-hearted can you be?
Dr. Russell, I don't want to lose either one of these babies. But if I don't act to save one of them, they both will die. And if there is a choice between them, I'm going to choose to save my child. What mother wouldn't?
This may be Gwen's last chance to have a child of her own.
And I'm happy to give her one if they're both hers. But if they're not, my baby comes first.
I know. I am as bald as you are.
Please, Dr. Russell, please run the DNA test so I can find out if one of these babies is mine. And if it is, I want Gwen's baby sacrificed to save it.
This can't be right, can it?
I couldn't believe it either, but there it is. There's absolutely no matches for the Wheeler's fingerprints.
So how's that possible? How is it they were never fingerprinted for anything?
Well, I mean, somewhere along the lines they should have been, but evidently they weren't. Or they altered their fingerprints to hide their true identities.
All right, let's move to Plan B.
Okay, I found a picture of Mrs. Wheeler when she was arrested, but I haven't found anything of Mr. Wheeler yet.
All right, good. That's a start. Hey, Kirkman, go ahead and download this picture into the program. We can start searching for a match.
Right, I'm on it, Luis.
Okay, now Luis said that Mr. Wheeler told him that he worked for my father back when my mother was alive. So I guess I should start looking in the mid-1970s. Oh, Mother. Her funeral was as big as Diana's. She sent condolences from 2 presidents, the royal family, even the Vatican. Mother, why didn't Mrs. Wheeler tell me all about you like she'd promised? I miss you so much.
Luis, some more bad news. I ran the Wheeler's social security numbers, and there's something not right about them.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, they're all relatively new. It's like they just popped out of thin air.
It's interesting.
And there's something else. Now, you run those social security numbers, you should come up with birth certificates, school information, credit history. Unless the Wheelers just popped out of pods or they're illiterate and don't shop, they're hiding their histories big time.
Well, the Wheelers definitely have a past with Alistair, especially Mrs. Wheeler. In fact, she's already tried to kill him twice.
Yeah, well, I bet my money on this photograph program coming through for us.
Well, let's hope so. If we can get a match, we can find out who Mrs. Wheeler really is.
Sacrificing one baby to save another is one thing. Deliberately destroying Gwen's baby to save yours is quite another.
Please don't judge me.
Eve doesn't have to judge you, Mija. God will.
Dr. Russell, can you please just run the DNA tests so that Dr. Ames knows which baby to save?
Teresa, what you're doing, this is unheard of. This is not done. And when Gwen finds out, she is going to go crazy.
Why am I going to go crazy, Teresa? And what exactly are you planning to do now?
I only wish that Luis would discover the truth so we wouldn't be burdened hiding it any longer. But that's just me being selfish, tired of living a lie. In my heart, I know that it would hurt our loved ones if they were to learn the truth, and I don't want that.
Neither do I.
That's why we have to leave Harmony, to protect our families from even more pain.
You're right, Martin, and I know that. I just don't want to leave my children again.
Honey, we have to. And we have to leave quickly, before Luis and Sheridan uncover the truth.
I wonder if we're ever gonna find out who Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler really are. I mean, what their connection is to Harmony, to us, to Julian and your mother.
I'm not giving up till I do find out who the Wheelers really are.
Hey, guys, look. Photo comparisons found a match, I think.
God, he did it.
This is it. We're finally gonna find out who Mrs. Wheeler is.
So, Spility, what is Teresa up to this time?
And once again, that sick man is manipulating all of our lives.
Now, you will leave Harmony, or so help me, I'll rain down a firestorm that will frighten the devil himself.
NBC Thursdays this November. What do you call the girl who will steal Joey's heart?
Hot girl.
Kelly Preston's Joey's perfect match.
She's everything you could ever want. Pretty? Yes. Funny? Yes. Smart? No.
Will Joey's dream finally come true?
Are you ready, beautiful?
Or will his secret destroy everything?
Something I have to tell you about Donna.
Oh my God, we're related?
A must-see month of Joey. NBC Thursdays this November.